Peace. What's going on, y'all? This is Brother Dooley, aka the Beantown Ghetto Shaman. I'm right here with my daughter, Dendara. Say peace, Dendara. Yeah, we chilling this morning. She actually picked up this book. It's kind of beat it up from my library. It's the Book of Peace. It's the brother, I forget his name, man, who the founder of Aikido, who wrote this book. And she dropped it on the floor. I guess she wanted me to read this to her. And came across this one thing right here. It says, if an opponent strikes, you want to sit on my lap? There you go. Want to check it out? Hold on. Yeah, there you go. All right. It says, if an opponent strikes with fire, counter with water, becoming completely fluid and free-flowing. Water by its nature never collides with or breaks against anything. On the contrary, it swallows up any attack harmlessly. So, that right there was very powerful part of wisdom right there, sharing of wisdom in that book. I've been doing Tai Chi, Qigong, different martial arts over the years. And, particularly, I even took Aikido when I was younger, when I was about 12 years old. And I'm actually getting back into Aikido class recently, after all these years of not being in Aikido for so many years. But a lot of these principles of some of these martial arts, particularly Tai Chi, and if a person reads this book called the Tao Te Ching, which was written by this guy named Lausa, which they call him the old man, they will tell you that water is very feminine in nature, and it has a very like yin-like quality to it. They say in the Tao that man is more like is a yang energy, yan energy, more hardened, and compares man to a tree. Man outwardly can be very hard, could have a hard type of demeanor about the masculine energy. But like the Tao says, the yin energy can overcome the yang very easily. So they compare man like a hardened tree, but yet they compare woman to be like water. And water could easily, it's very, soft, but yet when it's stirred up, water can be a tidal wave, it could be a tsunami, it can overflow, it could flood a city, it could take out numerous trees. So through Tai Chi, it would teach you about the subtlety of nature, tapping into the subtle nature of the yin energy, which is a profound level of strength within there. I got up this morning to do this video because I've been doing a lot of lucid dreaming lately. And some of, dreams are very interesting because they can be very symbolic, which can communicate some things that might be going on in your subconscious mind, or they could be prophetic. Many people throughout the years, have seek those who know how to decode dreams in a way to be able to foresee certain things that's going to happen in their life. But last night, early this morning, I had a dream that, and I've been kind of having a lot of these dreams lately on some type of zombie type of outbreak, apocalypse type of thing, scenario. And it's interesting because a lot of times in these dreams I'm having, I usually see myself trying to wake people up or running from these zombies or whatever. And in a lot of ways, it's just a reflection of the times that I believe we're living in right now. This past this past week, about this past week or so, I was a little, a little one right here. You see this right here? This is joy, you know. We come out our mother's womb, most of us, naturally being in a state of joy, being in a state of peace, you know. Just being happy to be alive, you know. And then something happens to us, you know. A lot of times we fall into this matrix of feeling that we're not worthy enough, we're not good enough, or whatever. But we come out, as you can see, just being, you know. And that's what I was going to say about even this past week, you know. This past week, I was a little depressed. I was, and normally I'm a very upbeat person, you know. It's always been like that. Even as a youngster, I always wanted to bring joy to people, you know. And it was interesting because just sometimes you could look at the news or you could look at certain things on the internet and see what's going on in the world. And if you're a person that actually feels, you know, or have a sense of, don't rip that, have a sense of being an empath or having some empathy, then you can't help but sometimes feel the pain of people around you and or even the earth sometimes, you know. So I seen something the other day talking about China. It was showing this guy who was making fake eggs, right? Out of these chemical type of things, and it looked like real eggs. And in the same note, I seen China is putting out fake rice, this like plastic rice. So and you know, I was strolling down and just seeing how just all this stuff is just really being manufactured through greed, you know. You see a lot of the world's problems, Fukushima, you know, the whole leakage in Japan and stuff, and just a lot of world catastrophes and pollution being caused by people's greed, you know. And then I was like, you know, in the back of my head, I was like, you know, these people that are really setting up these type of scenarios, they really don't care about anyone else, about the future generation, or any of that. Only thing they're concerned about is their own selves and their own greed that's fueling them to do these things. Same thing that applies to the GMOs and all that. You know, we're living in a time, my friends, where for the first time, you know, we're dealing with children who are who their parents are more healthier than their own children. In a lot of ways, their own parents are outliving their own children. You know, some of these kids, they're having diabetes, cancer, and all this, and it's a reflection of the times. You know, a reflection of years of children eating food that's not real. You know, frankenfood, which is a new term in the dictionary. You know, GMO foods. And again, people who Monsanto and certain companies who are producing this food, who are pushing this food, this so-called food out, they have no type of concern at all for, again, the future generations, how it's going to affect people years from now. And the only thing they're concerned about is this money thing. And for me, thinking about all these things, really sitting back, meditating on this stuff, you know, the greed of a lot of individuals out there, and how we can turn this world around if we choose to really just change our behaviors, you know. It had me just thinking, and I got a little depressed, and I was like, wow, this is deep to know, just sometimes to sit back and realize this is the world we live in, you know, where we have politicians and different things that are just concerned about their own little circle or their own self, you know. and have no inkling or no awareness of their connections to the greater, to their fellow man, or the greater of all, you know. And to me, that's a scary thing. It's a crazy thing, and at the same time, it just allows me to understand that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. It's a lot of work that needs to be done. Along the lines of changing this. I don't fall into the victim mentality that we're just hopeless and nothing can happen, nothing can change. I think there's one beautiful thing called change, and change is constant. Be connected to ourselves anymore. To be connected to the joy, the love, um, and it's a shame because there's a lot of people that talk about their conscious or they're in the conscious community, and I laugh at a lot of these individuals because they have no inkling or no understanding at all of what deems a conscious person. And a lot of these people, they're just running after titles and running after things just to puff their chests out, to make themselves more prideful or to have a sense of super importance. I read so many books, I looked at so many lectures. I've done this over the years. Now I'm smarter than this next person or whatever. And that's just another form of egocentric type of behavior, you know? When we deal with consciousness, when we deal with the mystery schools, those who were on the path to self realization, it was about peeling away all the false things about an individual to get at the core of who they are, rather than add more falseness to themselves, and that's what it's about, man, to be able to tear away all the lower aspects of yourself so you could be a more great, more better person, a person that actually knows how to love, you know? I don't really hear people talking about love within the conscious community at all, you know? They talk about these deep philosophies or these deep type of ideas, but I don't see a sense of really talking about how to love their mother, their family more, their spouse more, or any of these things, or to love themselves more. It's taking an approach of consciousness or spirituality as the same approach as someone who's taking a level of materialism, henceforth spiritual materialism. You know, you come from a culture that talks about consumerist capitalism. The more you have, supposedly, the more you're happy. That's the same approach that I'm seeing along these lines with spirituality, or those who are in the so-called conscious community. The more ideas or the more information they have, they think the more they're better than another person, which to me is crazy, But I'm running out of time, and I just had some things on my chest that I wanted to let people know about, and just to also give a reminder to people that we can change this world. if we just start to look within ourselves and be a reflection for the rest of the people out there. You know, we don't have to go along with the trends, the everyday trends of being in this living this false reality, because it is living a false reality, and we don't have to accept it. You know, just because we have people who have a lot of money or so-called power doesn't mean we have to go along with their program. All right, peace.